even though the manosphere is a very cynical view that reduces women to vessels that need to be manipulated in a push-pull dynamic, one thing about all those kind of pickup people is that even though they're coming at it from a dark angle, a shadow side, they're understanding the element of a woman's mind has to be aroused before her body follows sexually. And a lot of men who are very healthy and straightforward and kind and are not psychopaths that are looking to find a way to have absolute control over a woman and enslave her emotionally, those kinds of men do kind of have they're missing an element of, in seduction, a woman is aroused by her mind and then her body, and she's not, like, just like with the practice of men referring to specific kind of solution-oriented things to what makes people horny or orgasm. Like, men are always focused on these like concrete kind of like, they always want to have like a method to get to the orgasm, or they want to have a like scenario from porn, or they want to talk about their dick size, or they want to show you in a dick pic. And all of these things they are not how women work sexually. We do not see a visual of a penis and think, ooh, I'm turned on. We do not. If we say that, it's because we are imitating masculinity in order to really fawn to the man. Because a woman is turned on by emotional interplay of how much she feels desired by that man, and how much she knows about him, and things that she doesn't know about him. Like, she is not turned on by just like it's like if you just kept holding up dildos and then showing a dick and then showing a porn video of a scenario. I can look at all of that as it's just like it's like looking at a weather report. It's nothing's really escalating or going on unless I have a memory of an emotional experience that maybe mirrors those things or involved those dildos, but it's what gets a woman turned on is it truly is a build-up in her mind and a fantasy of an escalation, and imagining a scenario in which she is adored by that man, and he wants to know her and reveal himself to her. And they are turned on by the attachment and commitment and the feeling of safety with a little hint of danger. And that means having absolute trust and comfort and safety, but then having a bit of a wild card of not knowing what will happen. So women are, if you look at erotica, not porn, erotica, you get a sense of what a woman is turned on by, because there are certain tropes in erotica that are repeated over and over. And you know what one of the main tropes is a woman who she could never quite be sexually satisfied by the men in her life, and she felt like she was going along with their sexuality, right? She was kind of having just a base little orgasm, little everything's kind of just a little like a kind of vanilla, very slow, not slow, but just she didn't really, in fact, she maybe often thought there was something wrong with her. And then she encounters maybe a predatory bad boy who has his own problem. Like, he has his own, like, her problem is she has never quite been able to express herself in that primal way and felt safe. And then the predatory guy is usually, he's only expressing himself in this kind of rough, hardened, stoic way, and needs to be softened to really be more vulnerable and to be open to love, right? So she's been craving, wanting a love, he's been having, and the two of them are often the perfect complement to each other because they need each other's strengths and weaknesses in order to kind of both of them evolve into their best self. So what basically with this, very simple, the woman feels that the guy who has a predatory impulse but is regulated by empathy, that guy's love makes her feel safe and protected to let out her sexuality in a wild and feral and real way. And then that guy is learning that the love has softened him so that he is not just like a wolf that's going after and in that conquest, but is actually capable of really deep love by having his predatory, dangerous side, so to speak, regulated by the trust and comfort and safety, that empathy and compassion he has for that woman brings out in him. And so it doesn't matter if the erotica novel is a hostage situation, if it's a BDSM, if it's a kidnapping, if it's vampires, if it's fantasy, if it's aliens, if it's all mythical creatures, or if it's rooted in reality, if it's written in a fairy tale. The basic thing is there's a void in the two characters that is filled by the other, where they can be their best selves and their most real selves. And often a woman is attracted to, another thing, a woman's attracted to the bad boy regulated by empathy, but she's also attracted to the guy that is the loner that hasn't had sex in years, has a kind of loner abstinence quality, but then every once in a while, like he'll put himself out there. Those are the kind of men that are attractive to women, because a man that can say no and have self-control sexually makes a woman want to say yes, because they're not always pushing her, and then it makes her have the space to build up anticipation, which ultimately is mind before body. Then her mind feels ready to surrender, and because he has such great self-control, she feels safe from that, because that feels safe to be around someone that has self-control, not somebody wild. Because again, it comes back to, when you have self-control, it's because you could be a predatory type, but you're regulated by empathy. You're regulated by attunement to, okay, I'm not going to unleash a wolf on this woman. I'm going to allow things to progress, and I'm going to have that patience. And that's very attractive because it helps a woman feel safe. And once she feels safe, then she can allow danger. But she can't just have, this idea that women are into dangerous men is, women are into dangerous men when they're regulated by compassion. They're not into them just because. They're into that fantasy. That's the most common fantasy if you read erotica. And if you read erotica, you learn a lot about a woman's sex drive, because there are things you absorb in there that are emotional themes that come up again and again and again. And there's a lot of course, there's taboo and kinky things, but I'm talking on the very central layer that is kind of the core tenet, and seduce mind first and then get to the body. Have that bad boy primal wolf guy that is regulated by extreme empathy, attunement, compassion, and is able to make that woman feel seen by him. She feels trust and comfort. So, hope this was helpful in thinking about sexuality.